I had no job. I had became a franchise owner and I roll over my 401k, whatever I had left. And this was happening during pandemic. Pay the franchise fee of $25,000 to get my territory in Arizona. I was very hungry. Hungry to become someone because I had no income. So that shift is your mentality. My mom couldn't support me because she barely can afford, to care of herself with her new husband. And I was very embarrassed to ask for anyone for help. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I did struggle. Once I got the first client, I'm like, yes, I can do it again. About 15 years under my belt working with franchise companies. When they're a small business owner, they want to see their company scale. Do you want to grow within your own money of opening up more multiple locations? You can do that, but if you franchise, you can allow someone else to use the money and open up their own location, and then you're making royalties.
Can you imagine how many women in general you can impact with such an amazing story? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the I Am Voice podcast. And guess what? 2026 is here, ready to rock and roll, and we are ready to make a difference and step up our game because that is what we do. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast the whole entire 2025. Sergio right here for putting up with me for so many episodes. And now, last time I checked, we were like at 12,000 downloads on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but now I'll check again. That was 2 months ago. We got a new goal. We're going to reach even more entrepreneurs, more businesses, and we're going to make more of an impact because that is what we do and that is who we are. So welcome back to the I Am Voice podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. We're starting this year with a bang. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Erika Sanchez. She's going to let us know a little bit about herself.
Yes, thank you for having me be in your episode, and meeting your entire team has been a blessing. So thank you. So my name is Erika Sanchez. I am a franchise developer. I'm a franchise consultant. I used to own my own franchise as well. So I just sold my company about a couple of months back. And I grew it from 3 locations to 13 locations, and I exited out of the company as a franchisor. But it gave me so much wisdom to get more knowledge being a franchisor. But I have about 15 years under my belt working with franchise companies. Before there, I worked with corporate America. So I do have a lot of experience running big corporation companies in the franchising side. And now, like you, I'm going full force in development this year, helping people scale their company into a franchise,
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so intriguing because it's such a niche and line of work that you rely on your expertise. You rely on all your knowledge to create an impact to directly businesses, right?
Yeah.
Business owners and business operations in general.
Correct.
But I'm curious, what is the biggest struggle that you see from somebody actually even starting or considering a franchise?
So there are a lot of components in that question. I would say when they're a small business owner, they want to see their company scale. Some of the things that I ask, the owners is, do you want to grow within your own money of opening up more multiple locations? You can do that. You can open up 3, 4, 5. But if you do that, then you're going to pull yourself apart. Then you're becoming a full-time operator. Then all of your family is now working at all the locations, right? But if you franchise, you can allow someone else to use the money and open up their own location, and then you're making royalties. But the struggle is sometimes it's financial. Maybe they want to grow, they don't have the money, they can't afford paying to get the business scale to become a franchise. So I recommend working with bankers, loan officers to help them get funding to invest in their own company to scale it, right? And I would say marketing. Marketing is another thing. Marketing is crucial in any business. It's why I think that what you offer is important in la comunidad, because without marketing in a business, you're not going to make it. Especially now, it's very competitive out there. So you need to have a strong marketing plan and strategic to be able to grow. So those are the more things that I would say that is very hard, and have the will. I would say the will and the power to really push your business and not be afraid, especially Latinos. They're afraid of what would happen if I don't make it, and that's the mentality that people need to shift.
That's a very in-depth answer. We're gonna break that down throughout this episode,
Yes.
so you can explain to us and walk us through the process and everything. But right before we get started, I want to get to know a little bit more about Erica, because Erica Sanchez and vos Luis Sanchez, yours truly right here. So
Somos primos.
she walked into the studio today and I was like, "Prima, how you doing?" That's where we get the good looks from, regardless of what Sergio and Hector are saying behind the cameras. Believe me. But Erica, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? How did How did you become the Erica Sanchez?
Yeah, thank you, and I would love to share that story very quickly. So I was born and raised in Arizona, Phoenix, here in 43rd Street in McDowell. That's like my hood, how you call it back in the days, right? My mom is in Nayarit, Tepic, and my dad from Sinaloa, Mazatlan. I was born here. Obviously, I used to go to Mexico and travel and see family and so forth. I wanted to be a police officer when I was very young. I know. I wanted to be a SWAT and fight crime and serve the community.
Wow.
Yeah, completely different where I'm at now, right? But I always wanted to fight crime and be a cop. I always felt that passion. But I turned 21 and I joined the Phoenix Police Department. So I was making the steps to become a police officer. But then I felt like, as a woman, being part of a big group of men and ex-military veterans, I just felt very intimidated. And I said to myself, I am not going to get paid $45,000 a year. At the time, $45,000 was a salary to get paid to be a cop. No way. So I was really good in leadership skills. I always wanted to, prove myself and play soccer through college. And I always wanted to be competitive and prove my mom and prove to my family that I can be the first generation in my family to be someone here. And I've accomplished a lot of milestones that none of my family have ever accomplished, right? So I got promoted when I was 22 years old to run a hood district for cricket, and then for Radio Shack before they went bankrupt.
I love Radio Shack.
Back in the days, they were really cool, remember? You can get the best toys there. I used to run Radio Shack when I was very young, and then I ran the whole operation with the Target mobile kiosk, which was launched, I believe it was like 2003, 2004. So I helped open up the Radio Shacks inside Target. So by the time I turned 29, I was already a VP for a big company at Amazing Lash and Massage MB, running the whole West Coast region. But then I wanted to do things on my own terms, right? So I became a franchisee owner after that. But that's a whole different story. But that's where I got my experience in leadership, running corporate America, being a young entrepreneur, got my MBA, and wanted to just be a boss babe,
And okay. We're gonna take a step back real quick, because you said something at the beginning that completely contradicts where you kind of are now, right? Because thank you so much for being so eager for our community and be part of the police department and be part of making a difference. That's very admirable. That speaks a lot about who you are as a person.
Thank you.
However, you mentioned that it was intimidating, or it could have been a little bit intimidating, working with a group of men and veterans, and the way, and at the time, veterans, you're talking about people that served in the 80s or 90s, and then they joined the force, so they come with different mentality. I can understand how that could be a little intimidating. I'm intimidated myself. I'm a veteran.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a veteran of the Army.
There you know.
So I'm very familiar with it. But then you turn out and you go ahead and you start leading companies like Cricket, and you become a VP of Massage Envy.
Amazing Lash.
Amazing Lash, and you literally are dealing and overcoming that barrier of intimidation in order to get where you, and then you actually open your own franchise business.
Yes, and thank you for saying that. I feel like I was very insecure, very young. I didn't want to speak in public. I didn't feel comfortable. working with owners, I would say I was really intimidated by all of that. But it just because I was young, I was 21, and I was a short Latina. I'm 5'3". I had to wear high heels to even be enough tall.
I thought you were like 5'9" when you walked in.
Well, I'm wearing high heels.
I was like, she's 1 inch taller than me, and I'm, she might be 5'9".
No, I'm very short. So jumping that wall was intense. I gotta tell you that the wall for the police academy, I jumped it the first 2 times and I passed with no problem. But then the third time, I don't know what happened. I just froze and I couldn't jump the wall anymore. I feel like it's all mental. You have to be very mentally strong. And then being an only woman, Latina, and short, you have to prove yourself every day when you go to work. If you become a cop.
Yes, absolutely.
People don't think about that. So I said, $45K a year, not worth it. I'm going to go make money. So that's my mentality was, I got to get educated. I need to go and get a career where I can be more feminine, but still be a boss babe, because I really believe in marriage. I believe in settling down, having a family, but I can still be a masculine person in certain ways, which is why I do, when I work with my clients, I work with a lot of men. And in my industry, it's men dominated, obviously, but it's why I shifted my mentality. And I am very happy that I took this path versus that path.
Erica, what we need is the first episode of the book on how to overcome these barriers, right? And how to build your confidence. Can you imagine how many women in general you can impact with such an amazing story, with such an amazing recipe that actually works to overcome those challenges and get where you need to get? Because behind that, there's a lot of discipline.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of discipline, and it looks like you already had the values as a person, right? How was your family life that gave you that structure? Because a lot of it comes in like, was your dad like your mom?
So I was raised by a single mom, and I think that's what it has a lot to do with this. My real father is not in the picture, but I believe what worked for me, being because I'm so muy agresiva, I'm very like aggressive, my way or the highway. Someone tells me to do something, I'm gonna not listen, I'm gonna do it my way. I had to be thrown in the wolves. The only way that I was able to really, honestly, like to be confident and achieve what I achieved, not be comfortable. I didn't have, once I left corporate America at 29 years old, I had no job. I became a franchise owner, and I roll over my 401k, whatever I had left. And this was happening during pandemic. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So what I did, I roll over the money, and I paid the franchise fee of $25,000 to get my territory in Arizona. I was very hungry. Hungry to become someone because I had no income. So that shift is your mentality. My mom couldn't support me because she barely can afford to care of herself with her new husband, and I was very embarrassed to ask for anyone for help. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I did struggle, but it just made me hustle. It took the first client.
You burned the boats.
Once I got the first client, I'm like, yes, I can do it again. It was just the first client. Took me a year. To get the first client. And I did anything that I could, side jobs, whatever I can do so that I can make enough to pay my bills until I hit, that first client. The first client then gave me leads to work and close deals, and that gave me more money. Then I started working more and getting more clients, referrals. My clients were happy with me, and then they referred me clients. And then from there, the doors opened. And then 4 years ago, I met a client who gave me an opportunity to be her partner in her business, the medical spa, Viju.
Absolutely.
And I said, okay, I can build your company. She gave me 50% of the company, and I scaled it from 3 to 13 just in a year and a half.
3 to 13.
Yeah, but I've done it before for corporate. So now it was like, now you got to prove yourself. I had to prove myself. And I did it, and I became a franchisor. And so for me, it was like, okay, and now I marked every single area of the franchising. Franchisee, franchisor, consultant, developer, broker. I have all the experience. Now I'm like, all right, now I'm going to go full force. And now I have more wisdom in my belt, and I have more of a mission to really help people scale, That is very powerful.
That is very powerful, because not only are you making a difference for the business world, right? But you're actually, through your skills, through your story, through your personal experience, as you forge yourself, I'm pretty sure every business owner out there that is thinking of franchising their business is going through fears that you already
Oh,
overcame.
yeah. There's so many
So
fears.
you're not only a mathematical coach, right? Your numbers need to be here. This is what you need. This is requirements, black and white. But now you're actually dealing on the human side.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right, and maybe coaching them through many of these fears. I'm pretty sure maybe some of them have great ideas.
Yeah.
But their financial situation or their personal situation or their confidence is just not where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So maybe it takes a little bit more nurturing, right? As we calling in business, right? You're nurturing a client. In your case, I think it's real nurturing. Like you're
Oh, it's
psychologically
real.
nurturing the client. You're
But you know what? It's also, and I'm glad you say that. It actually, I felt responsible that they trusted me to pay me and my firm to help them get developed. And it even though I'm supposed to not make it get personal with me, I do, because now I feel obligated for them to be successful. Because if they're not successful, then I'm not going to. So it felt like more pressure to be on top of them. And when they feel like they're getting insecure and they're like, Erica, I don't know if it's going to make it, I have to be there in their corner. So I become their sidekick, which I never thought that I would be. But I do it for my clients who are already in the game, in the franchising. I'm like, all right, we're in it to win it. We're going to have to go on this long term. This will take maybe 2 to 3 years to see it grow. Are you committed? Good, because I am. We ready? Let's go. So it changes everything. But if they're in the beginning, like, I'm not too sure, then maybe I'm not for you. Maybe you're not ready.
absolutely.
So it changes everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. And for all of our listeners, for all of our viewers, thank you very much for being here. Remember, this episode is sponsored by Plexus, bringing business to your business. And while you do what you do best, we do the rest. Thank you, Hector. That was a great idea. Our creative mind now here behind that statement. And as a business owner myself, and as what I've been through, because we're making this very personal, I can relate. I can relate. And what you do is something amazing, because we all dream of growing. But you know what? I'm going to take ownership. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of times we have insecurities, not about being able to do our job, about letting go of control. Letting go of control, about setting up the right systems and processes, about taking everything that's in my head. I met business owners. We consulted with business owners that they're making $1 or $2 million a year, but everything it's on one single person's mind.
It is. I always say you are your worst enemy.
Correct.
100%.
Correct. And that's where it becomes very valuable to speak to experts, right? Because we do dream on the goals of growing. We do dream on the goals of expanding and creating an empire and all this and that.
Yeah.
But are we willing to do what it actually takes? So, and the first step is emptying your cup, right? And I saw this in a Bruce Lee video, and make sure I get credit, right? Emptying your cup, right? Because a cup that is full can never, you cannot put any
100%.
more water in it. So when you empty your cup and you're willing to learn, which is where you come in, I might think I'm an expert. I know everything, right? Not only that, I'm a veteran. Man, I fit all the profiles. Oh my God, I'm the bad guy. I'm the villain of this movie. I'm a man, I'm a little, I got authority on me. I'm a veteran. And then here comes Erica, and she's going to tell me what to do. I don't know about that.
It happens a lot, actually. When I come in, they see I'm a woman, and that's what I'm saying. It's all about the way they profile you, right? So I'm a woman, I'm young. What does she know? And I'm like, well, I know a lot. You will be surprised. And just in 1 hour of a conversation, I shift their mentality to like, I did not know we can do that.
Absolutely.
It's all about being open for that feedback and learning from other experts who have actually been in the game. So no one can just be a developer for franchising just because you read a book. You have to be a franchise to really be able to have that experience and be able to coach someone. And
I'm going to take a parenthesis right there, right?
Yeah.
Because we drop a lot of gems here as we identify different topics on the conversation. And I'm as a business owner, right? I'm good at sales, right? And I am untouchable at being sold. I don't want to be sold. Nobody can sell me, right? So when I see Erica coming over here and trying to sell me her service and everything, I already have this wall right up that I don't want to be sold or anything. How does Erica overcome that wall?
Yeah, so when I meet with an owner, what I've learned in my experience is if I have to really sell my services, and show you the why you should franchise your business. And you cannot, as an owner, you should understand the formula of the math of how you can multiply. If you already run a business, you should already understand me. All I'm selling you is on the service to get it done. You can go and shop around. You can go find other competitors that, like me, who do the exact same thing, and you will find that the same thing. Now, to sell you on the why, if I have to really tell you, then maybe you're not ready. And that's my formula here, because if I have to convince an owner why we're doing this the right choice, I found myself, in a problem where I had to give him reassurance or give her reassurance every single time. We open up 2 or 3 locations, still not enough. You're still insecure of where we're going. I need the owner to believe in their business can be scalable all across the world or nationwide for me to do my job at my best capacity. And it starts with the owner, because that's not my business. That's your business.
Exactly.
So if you own a Mexican restaurant, let's just say you own a Mexican restaurant, and you already have 2 locations and they're both making $1 million, your net profit is 30%, your labor is very low, and you've proven your concept, why can you not multiply this? What's holding you back? Money? I don't think so. So what's holding you back? But if I have to convince you, if we franchise, we can open up one in Texas and one in California or one in Utah, whatever. Trust me, there's entrepreneurs who would want to open up their dream restaurant, but they can't, because they need your support and your guidance. But if you can't see that, then maybe stay where you're at, and we'll have a talk maybe next year. But every year you wait, someone is beating you already in that industry. So I'd rather just invest $50K or whatever the amount that you have to pay and go for it. No pasa nada. What's the worst going to happen? It didn't go through. If we cannot franchise nationwide, your value of your company increases the value. Your company is worth, if you're making $1 million after EBITDA, you can probably sell it at $800,000, $700,000. If you franchise it with the business and you sell your business whole, you triple the amount of the value of your company. No pierdes nada. And that's the lack of knowledge.
And that's how she just tore down that wall, brick by brick. Did you see that? Did you see that? Ladies, take note. Take note. That is the power of a talented business person, of a business person. Because when it comes to business, right, it's all about the skills, your experience, your expertise, and your mindset, right? That's what truly makes a difference. And for everybody listening to the podcast, watching this podcast, let's define, right? Let's get into the subject.
Okay.
Right? Define franchise.
Yeah. Franchise is when you allow someone, it could be an entrepreneur, an investor, anyone who has a dream to own their own business. The franchisor, which is the one who owns the rights of the trademark and owns the right of the business, I don't want to call it licensing, but in a way it's competing to that. You're allowing that person to operate their own location, and the franchisor is going to provide training and support and ongoing guidance for you to open up your own business, whatever it is. I have clients who are mechanics. I have clients who are coffee, or they're restaurants, they're yoga, Pilates. Everything can be franchised as long as you have a blueprint. So what you're buying is a blueprint, a process, a manual, a step-by-step guidance of how my employees can open up their location and know what to do, right? So yes, you have to pay a franchise fee, but the franchise fee, what I call it, is skin in the game. You're allowing that person to tell you, hey, I'm committed to this brand. Let's just say that your company is called The Boss and they want to learn you're successful in your business, right? So maybe you want to scale this. Maybe there's a lot of partners, people who work here in your facility who say, I want to do what The Boss is doing. What's in it? How can I get in? Well, you know what? Pay me a franchise fee of $20,000 and give me a royalty every single month from what you make in gross revenue, and you get my coaching every month. Done deal. All right, teach me. But if you're giving all of your formula and your secrets away for free, then you're building your own competition. Why are you going to give all your secrets to some random person and not make a royalty when you are giving all your coachings for free? So I would tell people, if you have someone who comes in asking you, hey, can I be your partner? Hey, can you teach me? That's a franchise. That's a franchise opportunity, So it's literally just teaching operations, supporting blueprint, and you're paying the franchisor a royalty and a franchise fee for your guidance. And you know what? Franchisees want to be your partner. So they're not going to really mess anything up. They have the best interest in you and the brand and the company. So I like working with owners versus employees, because owners have money in the game. They want to be successful, and they have other experience that you probably need for you to grow as a whole company. So there's a lot of win-win for everyone.
One of the things that you just mentioned, and wow, what an explanation. That guys, that was, can I get a round of applause, please? Definitely. Because you are educating our listeners, educating me. I absorb so much when I'm doing this podcast. That's what I love doing it. And I think I mainly do it for me, and then I share it with the world, right?
It's good. Hey, it's the perks of doing what you do.
And one of the things that we always think as business owners, one of our biggest struggles is this going to work or this not going to work? It's so easy. Like you said, the difference between a business owner and an employee, right? Oh, I can use all my talent. I can use everything I know, and I can go to Microsoft and make their company richer. And I'm 100% comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to my own business, my own projects, as good as it might be, for some reason, there's always that fear, right? But then you work with business owners that have overcome that fear, that believe in it, and they're ready to take the next step. So attention, entrepreneurs, if your business, your ideas are ready to scale, and all you need is the right coaching, the right systems, and the right guidance, and the right person, Erica is the person that you really, really want to know. And if you want to know how to contact her, make sure you send us a message. We're not going to put her contact information out there because we're going to franchise this podcast. Watch.
I actually I have someone call me about a podcast they want to franchise, but I will be giving free consultations to be on your show. So anyone who is watching, who is from the Vols and who wants to talk to me, let them know. And I'm giving free, consultations via phone to give you any insight. If you have a franchise that you want a business that you want to franchise, or you just need some guidance, I can give you a quick intro free consultation.
Well, allow me to also introduce a second idea. Last year, we did a very successful networking event with True Value. Because Hector and I, we love to put events together and actually get a lot of our entrepreneur community and business community into one single place and offer real value, real education. It was called Thriving in This Economy, right? And we had guest speakers such as yourself and that came and truly shared what was working for them, right? We had Mr. Molina. We had a couple of other top leaders in real estate and a nonprofit. And people walked out not with a, hi, I came and I met some people, here's my business card, and then they go nowhere. No, they walked out with gems and value and education that they could apply to their business that day and truly make a difference.
Awesome.
So maybe we can put something together like that where we can have you as a speaker and we can have 60, 70 people in the room and they all can learn at the same time, ask questions. And we thank so much, here's a plug, Arizona Center. Faith, the owner of Arizona Center, has been very, very, very supportive. And Arizona Center is located on 3rd Street in Van Buren. It has the AMC, beautiful mall, which she has taken that mall from being a ghost town to now being full of culture, activities, family play dates, lucha libre voz every so often. And we did our networking event on the 11th floor. So check this out, Erika. Hector and I walked into the 11th floor. It's under construction. There's nothing there. There's no floor. Like there's concrete, but there's no flooring. There's nothing. It's just a skeleton. We just came in and we staged it to create that event. And we had almost probably close to 100 people.
Wow.
A little over 100 people and real entrepreneurs come in and ask questions, learn, participate. And we ended up, without even intending to, over the years we've been doing events, we ended up being our underground chamber of commerce.
No way.
Because we have now over 140 businesses registered now.
Wow.
Over 140 businesses registered, nonprofits and everything.
Congratulations.
So all of you guys can take advantage of what Erika has to offer. And she came through a very good referral, a great friend of mine, Mr. Jonathan Temple.
Yes, great friend.
How did you meet Jonathan, by the way?
I ran into him at a banking event 4 years ago, I think 4 years ago, actually. And that's how I met him.
and great relationship. Look at
yes,
this.
yes.
You guys have an event coming up, right? Where you're gonna have a great DJ.
Oh yes, I am part of I'm involved in the motorcycle community a lot. So I'm a Ducati member. I ride motorcycles, and I put up I'm helping She Thrives with Jonathan. He's part of that. And I wanted to bring awareness for all the women who ride. There's many women who went through a lot of domestic abuse, and the whole goal is to raise money. I don't do that. This is the first time that I'm doing something out of my heart just to help, and because of the passion of motorcycles. So I'm thinking more than 300 riders are going to show up on this day. We're making it at Go AZ. So I got Ducati to collaborate. I got Dynasty to collaborate, and I got Go AZ, and then Club Scottsdale, a lot of a different niche of people. And we're doing a lot of marketing, and we're going to make it successful. You're going to be there. You're going to be our DJ. So we're excited to have you. So you're going to be able to witness what we're going to do. And I'm thinking a lot of riders are going to show up, and we're going to cover the whole entire parking spot and Go AZ. And the goal is to have girls buy a motorcycle. There's a training facility called Team AC in the back. So they're going to be giving out discounts for people who want to ride motorcycles. So it might inspire women to ride a motorcycle and help them overcome their fear and insecurities too.
Look at this. And that's, she did make a statement. I don't really do this, but check out what I'm doing. Amazing event. And you guys are doing such a great work. Thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome.
I am going to publish this announcement, this video everywhere. That's the reason I'm asking the question.
Yeah, of course.
To make sure we get as much participation, right?
Yeah.
What is our goal for that event?
The event is to raise, it is a free event. So what I told Paulina and Jonathan is that I want to make it free where everyone can show up, riders from all types of clubs. But it's to raise money and donate to She Thrives. We want to do more events where we can give a check to a lot of nonprofits and help many nonprofits because I also love animals. So I want to also give checks and raise money for animal shelters and things like that. But this one is mainly for She Thrives to help her give scholarships out for women who either need emergency funds or go back to school. But for me is to raise, donations basically for them.
I would like to take this opportunity, right, and inform you that we're also involved in the nonprofit community, and we're currently working with Help Now, which they help homeless families into shelters, and they have Christmas drives, and they adopt a family, backpack drives, and everything. And it will be amazing if you could join us, maybe for some of the events that Help Now is doing. We as Plexus, we've been blessed, my friend. We've been blessed to be able to make a difference. And this is when I get satisfaction, very similar to you, on being able to have the skills that we have in Plexus, because we're building their entire operating system for them.
Wow.
And the entire process, we're building the entire CRM. And now we also volunteering, and we're going to be gift wrapping in Christmas. We're going to be doing that, and we're going to be volunteering with you guys.
Yeah.
So please follow everything that Erica is doing. Right in the middle of this podcast, we're going to do a little plug to let you know where you can find Erica. How can people find you? What's your preferred contact method on social media?
I would say Instagram. Usually I'm on that. But Erica.Sanchez0 is my Instagram account. You can find me there and reach out for any questions if you want to volunteer or, want to be part of the event or bring your motorcycle. If you're a rider, come on over.
Right? We're expecting over 300 riders. And probably,
I think so. I brought in a lot of influencers that are female riders that are being tagged on that post, and they're making a lot of awareness. So they have like millions of followers that are locally. So I feel like not just women, but men. And so I think it will be a large event. Yeah. I will be amazed if we can hit more than 300.
It is definitely going to be a success. We're bringing it into existence right now, right? And especially because everybody that follows me on social media, thank you very much. We're going to be professionally spamming you with this event so you can come support, whether they ride a motorcycle or not, right?
Yeah. You can rent, you can get trained there, you can buy a motorcycle.
Yeah, and most importantly, you can donate to the cause. So come and get ready to donate. We're going to have great exhibition of motorcycles.
Yes.
We're going to have amazing music. We're going to have Erica. right? Do you guys have any guest speakers?
Yes, so I'm glad you bring that up. At 8:45 a.m., we're going to be meeting at the Dynasty store. For those who want to ride a motorcycle, we're going to go to Lake Bartlett. So we're going to do a motorcycle ride with. So I invited 4 riders. One is Janet Edwards. She's from Texas, and she's a pro racer, motorcycle businesswoman, Latina. And then I have Bridget, and I have Jasmine, and I have Kylie. Bridget is also a motor racer here in Arizona at the podium in Casa Grande. Her story is very unique. Most of the girls have gone through domestic abuse, so they're going to be sharing their story of how they were able to overcome, this using motorcycles and getting into motor racing. And then I have an owner, Valeria, who will be there as well, talking about her story as well. Because there was also owners who've gone through domestic abuse, and sometimes they don't want to share the story. So yes, we're going to have speakers. The topic would be a panelist to talk about domestic abuse and motorcycles and how they overcame with being a boss babe, And then I'm going to have all of our vendors, for example, for you as well, to talk at the event and then speak about your services and, and saying thank you for, helping us out with this together.
Absolutely. Once again, what is the time and date for this event?
So the January 24th, 11 o'clock is the event at Go AZ in Scottsdale. At 9 o'clock is a motorcycle ride for the riders who want to join us at Dynasty Store in Scottsdale. And then from there, we're going to meet up at 11 o'clock at the Go AZ with everyone else being there. And yes, we're going to be showcasing all the nice motorcycles. Go AZ is one of the biggest, largest dealers in Arizona, but they have Ducati there as well. So I'm a big fan of Ducati. So if anyone wants to buy Ducati, they're going to be there showcasing. The Panigales, they're all there too. But yeah.
You know what? This is going to be a very successful event, and keyword is success, right? What is your definition of success, Erica?
For me, success means, growing, having fun, yes, making a financial income that you can sustain your family, but having fun and growing personally, spiritually, emotionally, and making an impact with people's life. I felt like I'm at a point in my life where a connection with people is more important to me than money. Money comes and goes. So for me, success is always making an impact wherever you go and seeing a business owner scale. Trust me, I get a lot of pride knowing that I've helped a business not just scale. They never thought that their little taco stand would blow up, or they never thought their marisqueria would ever expand in another country or another state. But I would say seeing other people be better has always been my success. I'm a giver.
I love it. I love it. And thank you for that definition. We need to know, right? Because one of the things that happens is we all want to be successful. And now with the pressure of social media, we feel the pressure to be successful, but we have never defined it, right? And to give an example, for me, success is not something you reach. It's a state of mind.
Yeah.
You might not feel successful if you only have $1 in your account, or you're negative $10, $500, or you are positive $3 million in your account. But there's a lot of success on the day-to-day, and a lot of success in being in a mindset of success.
Of course. Yeah.
I believe that success is a state of mind more than something that you're trying to achieve in the future, right?
Of course.
Like achieve success today in what you do today, so you can achieve success in what your goals are for 10 years or where you want to grow.
I agree.
And enjoying what you said so thoroughly, enjoying what you do. I think, and this is something that I wanted to talk to you about today. I believe, and I could be wrong, I'm willing to take opinions. Make sure you post your opinion. I believe that businesses tend to be more successful when they have a soul.
Oh, yeah.
Because, for example, if you start a business that it's 100% numerical and mathematical, when it starts hitting those walls and those challenges, you're probably not going to be very inclined to jump the wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're probably not going to be very inclined to break those barriers, to burn the boats and take certain risk as if you're passionate, right? But when you create a business that has a soul, that has an identity, that you almost give it life, then that business, right, tends to thrive through economic changes, through crazy things going on in the world. right?
I agree 100%.
And we're in January 2026. You want to know what crazy things are going on in the world? Just Google it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Going through all that,
Yeah.
and then being able to survive, strive when probably the numbers were against you. Maybe the economy was against you. Maybe you had all these factors against you, and you were able to push through all of them because your business had a soul. That's my opinion.
100%. And I'm going to share a story about that. I have a client that I need to share a story about this. So when I meet clients, I look at those things too, and I interview them. I ask them, if they're married, are they okay? Because sometimes if they're getting through a divorce, maybe franchising is not going to be in the table yet, because if you divorce, what happens? It kind of gets nasty, right? So there's things that I look at, but I have a couple, a power couple, and most of my clients are a power couple, which I'm very blessed to have a lot of husband and wives clients. Chino Mex. They're based in Chandler. I'm not sure if you ever heard of them. Erika and Carlos are an amazing owner. They work so hard, and they franchised during the pandemic. And actually, they were my first client.
Oh, wow.
That's the one that I was telling you about. That was my first client. I did not sell, not even a deal for them, meaning a franchisee did not sign, for almost 2 years. But the reason why is we were just coming out of the pandemic. Everyone was afraid to put money into a business.
It was a very hard time.
Right.
Absolutely.
But one thing that I caught from them is like they never gave up, and they still believed that they can scale the franchise. They believed that, even though I felt bad and I said, you know what, maybe we shouldn't franchise, maybe we should refund you back and just, not get this going. I was already giving up because I didn't want to be responsible. That goes back to the insecurities, and I'm like, no, I gotta be more better on this. I believe in the brand. They believed in their concept. They believe in the food. They improve the recipes, and the most important is that the husband and wife, them together as a team, they helped each other out. When one felt insecure, the other one will come in and give them reinsurance. We sold their first territory for El Paso, Texas, like 2 years after. Then I closed another deal over in the East Coast. And now we have owners and investors flying out to see me this month to talk about opening up more locations in the East Coast for Genomex. So it just to prove to you that maybe it takes a little bit longer, but the soul and the belief in your own brand goes far beyond when you build a company. But at the end of the day, it has to do with the owners, do they believe in their own company, and do they build it with the foundation of like the love, the joy, and obviously the good product, the good food. All those are important, but there's more beyond that you said, and I've learned all of that just watching my clients, and it's been amazing.
And what is the name of the business? Where are they located?
Yeah, they're Chino Mex. It's Chinese Mexican. They're in Chandler, I believe, on Ray Road. And they're opening up, the franchisee owner, which is one of the new owners, opening up in Dallas, Texas. And there's another one in the East Coast. And then we have a few more people coming out here investors coming out here to talk to me.
Absolutely. You know what I would love? I would love to have Carlos and his wife maybe as a guest, so we can help them out with some promotions and help them out, carry the world out, about their new business and share their story with you,
of course.
Their experience. And a lot of times is about a case study, right? You got to build your case studies in order to prove your concept and do all this. And this is why I do what I do, because working with people that truly make a difference, right, is how you get things done.
Of course. Yeah.
And creating true impact and true benefits to our people, to our community, to the businesses, it's got to be on top of mind. Of course. Right?
100%.
2 years, Erica.
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years. So what was your process through those 2 years? You don't have to give us any internal information, but what was your process? I bet you were trying, all kinds of strategies.
It all has to do with marketing. So let's go back to business talk. So if the franchisor is not injecting money into marketing, there's just no way that we're going to be able to get this brand in other states for investors or entrepreneurs who want to buy. SEO, Google Ads, Instagram, TikTok, social media, all of it is crucial. So when we franchise a business, phase B is let's put it to market. Now we need to hire a marketing company who I work side to side. But at the time, they were not putting money into marketing. So it made it more worse for me to even talk to anyone. So I was very, I focused on getting new clients developed, but in their case, when I get a company franchise, the expectations are, where is your budget with marketing? Even though I'm not a marketing agency, I still need to ask them, what is your budget? How much can you spend? And then I go over a plan of action, because I already seen this work with other franchisors, so I already know what we're looking for. But the most important thing is bringing someone like you into the picture and working with my franchisor in a plan to bring in leads for franchising. And it's possible because I closed multiple deals for Marisquerias. Marketing is crucial. So without marketing, I really don't want to help unless I do the marketing myself. I bring my marketing team, then I bring the leads to the franchisor, but I charge higher for that because now I'm putting my money in the investment side. But that's why if the franchisor wants to do it on their own terms, they have to do the marketing. So without marketing, we can't get expansion.
Without marketing, there's no business. Without marketing, there's no expansion. Without marketing, she won't help you. And believe me, you need her help.
Yeah, especially when it comes to selling, we cannot franchise. We can franchise you, but you're going to struggle. You're going to franchise your business, and then what? You're just waiting for someone to knock on the door. It's like dating. Like, you need to date someone. You need to go out there and meet people. You got to mingle. You got to spend money to take the girls on a date.
Right. No, and just like that, right? Before you go out there and spend money on girls and everything, make sure you grow your business, make your calls, get your conversion, get some sales, and then you go out there and have fun, do everything you need to do. Okay? Stay focused. Don't get distracted. Now, I would like to ask, what are the basic requirements, Erica, for my business to be franchisable?
Okay. Number one is the owner. The owner needs to be ready to scale. The owner needs to understand the fundamentals of scaling the business. And they have the positive mindset, because without them being positive, without them being ready for the next level of their life and their journey, again, we're going to be going into those blockages of, like, I have to reassure you, like, are you ready? Well, every month you're going up and down. We need to make sure that you're committed. Second thing is going into the financial side. You don't have to be profitable, amigo. You don't have to be profitable to franchise. I franchise companies who did not show financials on the FDD. And let me educate you on what FDD stands for. FDD is a franchise disclosure document, which is the contract that you sign. You both, the franchisee and the franchisor, together, and you do a mutual contract, right? In there's an item called number 19. In the contract, it shows financials. It's what your company made last year. But you're not selling the business, you're selling the concept. So remember that. Whenever you're shopping around for a franchise, you're not buying their business, you're buying the concept that does not exist yet, which means that you're going to open up your own The Voz business in Tucson or in Las Vegas. You're going to do from scratch, right? So what that means is you don't need to know exactly if that business from The Voz is successful or not. It's good to know that they're successful. It just gives you more reassurance. But you're going to open up your own business out there as a startup with initial money that you need to inject, right? The other thing is, do you have money for marketing? After we franchise you, can you put in $10,000, $20,000 extra aside to do marketing? I always like to ask that. And then the final one is your business, like the initial investment? We do a low and a high. I look at, what does it take to operate a business like you? So if you open up like your business for the Voz, you need a location, you need an office, you maybe need a car to take your equipment. All your equipment costs maybe $20,000, $30,000. So I already have an idea that after real estate, licensing, they pay the franchise fee. Initial investment can range from $50K to $100,000 to open up the Voz in their city. But $100K includes marketing, training, includes labor, includes all of it, right? So it's an attractive model. So that tells me that it can be franchisable. But then also, is your business profitable? Okay, so you've been in business for a year, right? You generate, let's say, $800,000 in revenue, gross revenue. Net profit, you're at 25, 30%. That's a healthy number. So I look at all those things, but it doesn't mean that it's required. It makes it easier to sell for you. So if you're struggling, for example, Subway. Do you know Subway story?
I don't, no.
Subway was going bankrupt.
That's what happened.
So what saved them was the franchise. I don't have to show financials to sell a franchise. I've sold different companies, 2 different coffee businesses. They didn't show financials. And I still closed deals because remember, they're buying the concept. They're not buying your business. So,
love it.
les puede ir más mejor a ellos in another state than what you're doing in Arizona. It could be a market problem. It could be that you're in the wrong location, the wrong city. Maybe they do very well in Texas or in Nevada, and they blow up. That's what I'm saying. There's false myth in franchising, and I'm here to explain that those myths are incorrect.
I'm going to be really honest with you, right? Because here we're very open and very honest about
Of course.
what we think and what we do. I've seen people and I've talked to them and we consulted them that they got franchise. And when I look at the franchise model, the process is just not there. The
I have an answer for
support
that.
is not there. Pretty much all they did was got the name and the logo and similar look-alike features of the place, and then they open their new place, but the marketing support is not there, right? The operational support is not there. The business guidance is not there. And now you have this business owner that invested on this franchise and they're struggling.
Oh, I have the right answer for that one.
And they don't have the liberty
to get out,
to make the changes or get out.
So, and I feel bad because there are amazing franchisors that I know, but in the same time, just like any other business, amigo, there is the good and the bad owners. There's the good and the bad franchisors. Most of my clients that I help is why I franchise them. I get them to become a franchisor. So a few things here. Number one, when you read the FDD, I'm a consultant also, so I consult the franchisee before they buy into a franchise, what to look at in the contract before they sign, and they're invested into the brand, right? So royalties, marketing fees, admin fees, POS fees. Sometimes the franchisors make money on pretty much any area that they can. Sometimes they'll sell you the cup. They make $2 more on you to make you, the franchisee, buy the cups through them versus going through another third-party vendor. So there's a few little things to look at, right? The lack of support, the lack of training, and the lack of ongoing support in general is because the franchisor grew too big and they cannot sustain all the franchisees. That's where all the franchisors go bad when they grow. Not saying any names, but there is one company that I worked in California that was one of my top clients. I was closing deals left and right, okay? I did not help in the operational, but I was watching as I make more money on selling, and I didn't want to get in operations. I'm like, no, I already went through that with Amazing Lash. I'm done with operations for now. But I got to see when we scaled, a lot of franchisees were not happy. They were complaining and they were shutting down. So when you see a franchise who is growing quickly, but they're shutting down every year at the same time, a lot of locations, it's a red flag. I would not sign a contract with that franchise. But I go back to what I was saying. Not every franchise is like that. For a franchisor, it's good to grow slowly. Let's open up one territory, maybe one every quarter, maybe one every year, and help them be successful. And then we open up another one. Yes, it's a 3 to 4 year commitment, but at least your franchise is going to be healthy and sustainable and it's growing. Then it avoids owners being upset and then probably suing you and going to litigation in court, right? And I've seen that. I've been to litigation for my clients. So let's avoid that. But then also you get the wrong franchisee owner. Then now let's switch it over. Now we allow you, a new entrepreneur, you have no experience, you have money, but then you spend the money the wrong way. And I've seen a client do that. Ooh. A franchisee got an SBA loan, $500,000, se le subió la cabeza, he got very excited, and you know what he did? He did 2 quinceañeras for her daughter, spent the money in la quinceañera, and then 8 months in the business, Erica, I have no more money. Well, of course you don't. You just renovated your house. You went shopping. You gave your daughter those quinceañeras.
That was 50% of the budget right there.
Now you fill in your franchise. Now we're going to shut you down. So it's not just the franchisor. The franchisee, when you qualify the owner to buy into the company and to open up their territory, I got to make sure, do you have 10 years of experience? Do you have 5 years? What's your background? I'm asking questions because then that's a liability for the franchisor.
Absolutely.
So there's bad stories, yes, but there's also really good stories in franchising, just like anything in business.
What I really love on something that you just mentioned is you are looking out to make sure that, for example, I have an idea, the concept, the business, whatever the case might be, and you're looking out for me to make sure that the right investor comes along with the
Yeah.
proper background,
Of course.
with the proper skills.
Yeah.
And you're also looking out for the franchisee
I do.
to make sure that he is at the very minimum taking a very well-educated
Of course.
decision.
Yeah.
And that person realizes if they actually have the skills or they don't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not only the buyer, right? But it's also the team. Is there any support? Right? Because it's not one person and one person. It's one concept
Yeah.
with a team, a recipe, and can this team adapt to it?
Correct. 100%. I agree 100%. And I'll share another story very quickly. There was a person that I spoke to last week, right? He wanted to buy into a restaurant. The moment when I sat down with him and I asked him, like, tell me more, he was already complaining about the food. He was already complaining about, trying the food, didn't like it. He was complaining about, like, the franchise fee was too high. He wants to reduce the royalty. When someone comes in and tells me that everything is wrong and they want to modify everything, do you think that that's going to be a franchise client? Absolutely not. If you cannot follow directions as a franchisee, you're buying into something that is already established. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. But if you're coming in as an investor, you're thinking that you're badass and this is your way or the highway, then don't franchise. Go open up your own business and innovate your own idea. That's how I like to say it. Like, if you are here to follow directions, then you are the perfect franchisee because it's done for you.
Absolutely.
But if you need to reduce everything down, then maybe that's a red flag. That's why I look at that, not a bad thing. I look at it in both ways and say, you know what, sir, if you open up a franchise, they're not going to modify the menu for you. So you need to follow the menu the way it is. McDonald's has McDonald's the way it is. KFC, Pollo Loco, they're not going to modify for one owner. So I look at those behavioral things before I say, hey, approved, let's sign you a deal. I really don't do that because once I sign that deal, my owner is going to be struggling with that owner.
Absolutely.
So.
No, I completely understand that. And it's such an intriguing operation, right? There's so much responsibility in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And yet, while you're explaining it here in this podcast, and I'm hearing this from you, I feel safe. Listening to, because I can hear your knowledge, I can hear your experience through your storytelling, right?
Of course, yeah, thank you.
My friend Brian Bressler this morning, he just posted something on how important storytelling is when it comes to business, and that's how we share experiences and everything. So this is only the beginning. My last segment of today's podcast is the following question.
Okay.
What are you seeing right now that is trending, that has the most potential to be franchised? Or does it come with being maybe an original idea?
A little bit of both. I would say a lot of new innovations are very hot. Like it also depends on the money that you have, your investment. If you are someone who has more than $4 million to invest and scale, then other opportunities open up, other people come into place. But it's something unique. I would say like mechanic shops, coffee businesses, sugar, even Pilates, gym, membership concepts are very attractive right now. I just franchised a Pilates studio that is a gym, fitness Pilates, but it's membership packages, and it gives owners a way to make residual income, not just in gross revenue from like services and having a class, but they make ongoing revenue every month on those memberships, right? So wellness, beauty, sugar, and coffee are the best ones that are trending right now in the franchising world. Restaurants are still doing very well, but it's very saturated. So there's a lot of Mexican restaurants, there's a lot of birreria, marisquerias, but it doesn't mean that it's not scalable. There's room for competition. It's just, there's a lot of explaining the why, telling people why you should get this one versus the other one, right? But a little bit of both, amigo. I feel like if you innovate a new idea and you franchise it, it will do really well. You know, Massage MB, when they franchised the business, it was a business plan. They never had a location.
Wait.
Massage MB never had a location. They franchised a business plan, and other investors came in and opened up the location, and they became one of the country's leading massage places in the United States. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of false myths. You don't even have to be in business for 2 or 3 years to be able to franchise. You can just be open for 1 year and franchise it.
Now that's a reality check for me. So you're telling me that all those ideas that I've been keeping under the mattress, right, with my little notebooks and everything I write and everything.
Let someone else do it for you. Just throw the blueprint. Just say, I have this idea. Let's franchise it and let someone else come in and do it for you. Yes, work out a better deal. We'll drop the royalties down a little bit because it's the first, test location. We've done it all.
Oof. Erica, while we're on the subject and while we're actually still on the podcast, I'm gonna ask, are you available next month? Yeah, I think we need like a series. We're gonna need season 1, season 2, season 3.
I am.
Because every single point that we're talking about is very exciting, and it's actually it can be an episode of its own, right? And I would love to pick your brain as much as you allow me, and be able to educate more of our community, more business owners.
That is one thing that I've been wanting to do this year now that I'm back. Remember, last year I was completely invested in my own medical spa, Biju. I was involved for 2.5 years. I was running that business. So I'm back in development. I'm coming back full force. And it's one thing that I want to do more is education. I'm doing an event tomorrow at Club Scottsdale where I'll be speaking at all of their members about franchising and scaling. So you can count on me, absolutely. Whatever I can do to educate and mentor people, to help them go with the right direction, I'm always open for that.
I love it. Guys, here in production, do we have any questions? Anything? Wow, she just blew your mind. Huh? Absolutely. Look, Hector's already thinking like I can see the list of things he's already franchising on his mind. I got Sergio right here. His mind is running 100%. By the way, let me tell you, with the team, I'm very, very, very blessed.
Oh, of course, you have a good team. Yeah.
There's a thing that, it's there's nothing lonelier than a wolf climbing the hill, right? But here is the thing. We have a concept called wolf pack. And the reason we call it a wolf pack is because the concept that we came up with when we started all joining together, Hector is so successful at what he does that he doesn't need me as a business partner at all.
That's good.
Sergio is so successful at what he does and he's very good and very talented that he doesn't really need us. Yeah. Same thing. We could all, as an independent wolf, go out there and hunt. And
So what's holding you guys back of scaling?
We'll get a rabbit. We were waiting for the right person for the right time with the right guidance.
I'm going to watch me on Podcast Live. So I'm on the franchising right now.
Absolutely. Live. Right? So as a wolf pack, we can take down a bison.
Oh, of course. So just so you know, I'm not trying to sell you on it. There is a
sell me.
There is a podcast studio that has 3 locations. They have one in Ohio, they have 2 here in Scottsdale and in another state. That is a podcast, same setup here, and they want to scale. And they're going to sell their turnkey locations as a franchise. So what you have podcast is a really hot franchise seller as well, because there's a lot of young guys who want to open up their own podcast, and podcast is really huge and it's growing year over year, 30% growth in podcast. So if you were to franchise your podcast, you will have a lot of young entrepreneurs who probably already follow you, who are watching you, that would want to partner up with you, but in a way that is protected in both parties. So there really isn't any reason why you should hold back in scaling your business, actually. So it's just having the will and the commitment.
I'm going to give credit to a very important business owner, important business figure in my life, which is Raul Molina. I speak about him in every event, and we do a lot of talks and different conventions and things like that. I bring him up because recently I was helping him with an expansion for the Mint dispensary, right?
Okay.
The Mint dispensary, and I got to participate on the Mint dispensary when it was just a concept.
Cool.
I did all the canvassing for them in Guadalupe, where they opened their first location. I got all the signatures, and I got to see and talk to Raul. I call him Papi Raul, and his goal was to get to $1 million like in a year, and then next thing you know, it's boom, they achieved that in a couple of months. And I'm not going to say numbers because I'm not even know if I'm authorized to say what I'm going to say, but now they have like over 40 or 50 stores across the US in about 8 years, maybe 9 at the most, if I can remember correctly, an average of 7 years. And now they have over 40 stores, and I think they're worth like close to $10 billion or something like that.
Yeah, he probably got into the business right when it was becoming legal, and it was the right time to get into the marijuana industry, yeah.
So that's a great example for me. And all that context just to say the following. He told me, Vos, it takes the same amount of work to generate $100 a day and to generate $1 million a day. You can make $100 selling whatever you sell in a day or $1,000.
Yeah.
It takes the same amount of work to generate $1 million a day. And it's all on how you scale. Obviously, they scale tremendously. They have a great strategy, and they admire them a lot. I'm going to send an invoice for this plug later on. And
I love that.
now I'm going to introduce them to Erika in case they need any other help, because you're in such a need, Erika, for business owners. And I have not met very good people or anybody that does what you do, how you do it. So congratulations on that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Last but not least, where can we find you, Erika?
Yeah, so you can go, my website is franchisetosuccess.com. I'm going through a branding change, so I'm calling it Throttle Brands, because Throttle Brands, I represent various clients. But my Instagram is the easiest one, is erica.sanchez0. That is where my Instagram account is, and then my website. And you can also just contact me, but you'll add the number there, and I have a work phone, so you can call me.
Well, thank you very much for being here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us this hour. Hope you are getting a lot of knowledge, taking everything you can, taking some notes. If you have any comments, make sure you send me those comments. Put them down on these videos, this clip, anywhere you're watching this. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you're listening to this on iHeartRadio, on any other platform or like Apple Podcasts, make sure you go to imvols.com. There's a contact form, a chat. You want to get a hold of Erika, let us know, because here is not what we do. It's who we are. And I'm DJ Vols, and I approve this message.